Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like the person staring back at you doesn't quite match the vibrant, confident soul you know is still inside? Maybe you've noticed your shoulders slump a little more than they used to, or you catch yourself hesitating before speaking up in a group. If that sounds familiar, let me tell you something: you're not alone, and you're definitely not past the point of feeling amazing about yourself. Turning 70, 80, or beyond doesn't mean you have to settle for anything less than a life filled with confidence and joy. In fact, with just a few simple habits, you can rediscover that spark and walk into any room feeling like you own it. Today, we're diving into 4 self-care habits that are easy to weave into your daily life and incredibly effective at boosting your confidence after 70. These aren't complicated routines or expensive fixes. They're small, practical steps that can make you feel stronger, more connected, and genuinely great about who you are. I'm so excited to share these with you because I've seen how they've transformed lives, people just like you, who thought their best days were behind them, only to find out they were just getting started. And if you love hearing about ways to live healthier, happier, and more fulfilled, please give this video a like, share it with someone who needs a little boost, and hit that subscribe button. I'm on a mission to reach 1,000 subscribers so I can keep bringing you content that lights up your life. Let's start with the first habit, something so simple yet so powerful: nurturing your inner voice. You know that little voice in your head that's always chatting away? It's the one that tells you what you're capable of, how you look, or whether you should try something new. Over the years, that voice can get a bit critical, especially if you've faced setbacks or heard society whisper that aging means slowing down. But here's the truth: you have the power to shape that voice into your biggest cheerleader. Start by paying attention to what you say to yourself. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "I'm too old to try that," pause and flip the script. Try saying, "I'm wise enough to give this a shot, and I'll learn something new." It feels awkward at first, but it's like exercising a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger it gets. I met a woman named Margaret at a community center a few years ago. She was 74 and had always wanted to join a book club but kept telling herself she'd sound foolish discussing novels with smarter people. One day, she decided to challenge that thought. She started whispering to herself every morning, "My ideas are worth sharing." It wasn't magic, but it gave her the nudge to sign up. The first meeting was nerve-wracking, but by the third, she was leading discussions and laughing with new friends. That small shift in how she spoke to herself didn't just boost her confidence, it opened up a whole new world. You can do this too. Try setting aside a moment each morning to say something kind to yourself. Maybe it's, "I'm proud of how far I've come," or "I'm going to shine today." Write it on a sticky note and put it on your bathroom mirror if that helps. Over time, you'll notice that voice becoming a friend, not a critic, and that alone can make you stand a little taller. Now, let's move to the second habit, which builds on that inner strength: taking care of your body with intention. I'm not talking about running marathons or spending hours at the gym. This is about small, deliberate choices that make your body feel respected and capable. As we age, it's easy to feel like our bodies are working against us. Maybe your knees creak, or your energy dips by mid-afternoon. But when you treat your body with care, it responds in ways that lift your confidence. Think about something as simple as stretching for 10 minutes each morning. It's not about becoming a yoga master, it's about loosening up your joints, improving your posture, and feeling more in control of your movements. Take my friend Tom, who's 78. He used to shuffle when he walked, partly because his back felt stiff and partly because he didn't think much about how he carried himself. Then he started doing a short stretching routine he found online, just gentle arm circles, side bends, and toe touches. At first, he thought it was silly, but after a few weeks, he noticed he was walking more upright, and people started commenting on how spry he looked. That physical change made him feel prouder of his body, and he even started dressing a bit sharper because he wanted his outside to match how good he felt inside. You can start small too. Pick one thing to focus on. Maybe it's drinking an extra glass of water each day to keep your skin glowing, or doing a few chair stretches while watching TV. The key is consistency. When your body feels cared for, it shows in the way you move, smile, and carry yourself. These two habits, nurturing your inner voice and caring for your body with intention, are like the foundation of a house. They create a strong base for everything else. When you start speaking kindly to yourself and treating your body with respect, you're already on your way to feeling more confident. But there's more to explore, and the next habit we'll dive into is all about connecting with the world around you in a way that lights you up. It's something that can make you feel seen, valued, and truly alive. Let's talk about the third habit, which is all about building meaningful connections. You might be thinking, I've got my family, my neighbors, what more do I need? But there's something special about reaching out and creating new bonds or rekindling old ones in a way that makes you feel truly seen. After 70, it's easy to slip into routines where you're surrounded by the same people or maybe spending more time alone than you'd like. But connection isn't just about having people around, it's about feeling valued for who you are. And when you feel that, your confidence soars. This doesn't mean you need to become the life of every party. It's about small, intentional steps to engage with others in a way that feels good to you. One way to start is by sharing a piece of yourself with someone else, even in a simple way. Maybe it's striking up a conversation with the person next to you at the coffee shop or calling an old friend you haven't spoken to in years. I know it can feel daunting, especially if you're out of practice or worry about being a bother. But most people are delighted to connect, they're just waiting for someone to make the first move. Take my neighbor, Clara, who's 81. She used to spend most of her days at home, feeling like her social circle had shrunk to just her daughter and a few acquaintances. Then she joined a local gardening club, not because she was a plant expert, but because she loved flowers as a kid. At first, she just listened, but one day she shared a story about her grandmother's rose garden. The group lit up, asking her for tips, and suddenly Clara was the go-to person for advice on pruning. That little act of sharing didn't just give her new friends, it reminded her how much she has to offer. You can do this in your own way. Maybe there's a hobby you've always loved, like knitting or birdwatching, and you could find a group to join, even online if getting out is tricky. Or try something as simple as writing a note to a friend, telling them what they mean to you. The goal is to create moments where you feel heard and appreciated. Each time you do, it's like a deposit in your confidence bank. You start to realize your stories, your wisdom, your presence, they matter. And that feeling? It's like a warm glow that follows you everywhere. Now, let's ease into the fourth habit, which is about embracing your unique style. This one's fun because it's all about expressing who you are to the world, without needing to overhaul your wardrobe or break the bank. Style isn't just about clothes, it's about the little choices that make you feel like you. Maybe it's wearing a bright scarf that makes your eyes pop, or finally trying that haircut you've been curious about. After 70, it's tempting to stick with what's comfortable or think, why bother? But when you put a little effort into presenting yourself in a way that feels authentic, it's like telling the world, I'm still here, and I'm fabulous. I'll never forget meeting Harold, a 76-year-old gentleman who decided to shake things up after years of wearing the same gray sweaters. He was tired of blending into the background at family gatherings, so he went to a thrift store and found a navy blazer that fit him like a dream. The first time he wore it to a community potluck, people couldn't stop complimenting him. He told me it wasn't just the jacket, it was the fact that he'd chosen something that made him feel sharp and alive. That small change gave him a spring in his step, and he started experimenting with colorful socks and even a pocket square. It wasn't about impressing anyone else, it was about reminding himself that he still got flair. You can start small with this one too. Maybe pick one thing to refresh your look, a new pair of glasses, a bold lipstick, or even polishing those shoes you haven't worn in a while. If clothes aren't your thing, think about other ways to express yourself. Maybe it's arranging your living room in a way that sparks joy or wearing a piece of jewelry that tells a story. The point is to make choices that feel like a celebration of you. When you look in the mirror and like what you see, it's amazing how that confidence radiates outward. People notice it, and more importantly, you feel it deep down. These habits, building connections and embracing your style, are like the icing on the cake. They take the foundation of a kind inner voice and a cared-for body and add that extra layer of joy and self-assurance. As we wrap up these ideas, we're going to bring it all together with some final thoughts on how to make these habits a natural part of your life, so you can feel great about yourself every single day. As we've been chatting about these habits, nurturing your inner voice, caring for your body, building connections, and embracing your style, you might be thinking, this all sounds wonderful, but how do I make it stick? That's where the magic happens, because these aren't just one-off tricks. They're small, intentional choices you can weave into your everyday life, and when you do, they start to feel as natural as brushing your teeth. Let's tie it all together and talk about how to keep these habits alive, so you can wake up each morning feeling confident, vibrant, and ready to take on the world. The key to making these habits part of your life is to start small and be gentle with yourself. You don't need to overhaul everything at once. Maybe you begin with that morning affirmation, whispering something kind to yourself while you sip your coffee. Or you dedicate 5 minutes to stretching before you start your day. The beauty of these habits is that they're flexible, you can tailor them to fit your rhythm. Take my friend Evelyn, who's 82. She was overwhelmed at the idea of self-care, because it sounded like something for younger folks with endless energy. But she decided to try one thing. Every evening, she'd put on a favorite necklace before dinner, just to feel a little special. That tiny act made her smile, and soon she was adding other habits, like calling a friend once a week or doing a quick walk around her garden. It wasn't about doing it all perfectly, it was about finding what felt good and letting it grow from there. Another way to keep these habits going is to create little reminders that spark joy. For example, if you're working on building connections, maybe keep a notebook where you jot down the names of people you'd love to reach out to, along with a memory you share with them. It's like planting seeds for future conversations. Or if you're focusing on style, try laying out an outfit the night before, something that makes you feel like your best self. These small cues help you stay consistent without feeling like a chore. And don't worry if you miss a day or two, life happens. The important thing is to pick it back up when you're ready. Confidence isn't built in a single moment, it's built in the quiet, steady choices you make over time. Now, let's talk about why these habits matter so much. Each one, whether it's speaking kindly to yourself, moving your body, connecting with others, or expressing your unique style, sends a message to the world and to yourself: you are worthy, you are capable, and you are still growing. That's a powerful thing at any age, but especially after 70, when the world sometimes tries to tell us to slow down or step back. You don't have to listen to that noise. Instead, you can choose to show up for yourself, to celebrate who you are right now, and to keep discovering new sides of yourself. I think of my Uncle Ray, who at 79 decided to take up painting after years of saying he wasn't creative. He started with a simple watercolor set, and now his living room is filled with his artwork. He says it's not about the paintings themselves, it's about the confidence he feels knowing he's still learning, still creating, still surprising himself. As you try these habits, you'll notice something beautiful. They don't just make you feel good in the moment. They ripple out, touching every part of your life. You might find yourself laughing more easily, speaking up with more conviction, or trying things you never thought you would. And that's what confidence is all about, not perfection, but a deep, quiet belief in your own worth. So, give yourself permission to start small, to experiment, to have fun with it. Maybe today you try a new scarf, or tomorrow you call an old friend just to chat. Each step is a victory, and each one brings you closer to feeling truly great about yourself. I'd love to hear from you. Have you tried any of these habits before, or is there one you're excited to start? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts or experiences. It's so inspiring to hear from this amazing community, and your stories motivate others to take that first step. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, share it with someone who could use a little encouragement, and hit that subscribe button. It means the world to me as I work toward reaching 1,000 subscribers, so we can keep spreading positivity and practical tips together. Here's to living your best life, at any age. You've got this, and I'm cheering you on every step of the way.